So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Konami actually revealed the first look at Speed Duel's skill cards for the TCG, and we went over those in the video, and the video did really well on the channel, so I thought today we'd come back to it because Konami did announce 2 new skill cards for Pegasus, and those are actually really interesting because they take themes from Duel Links, from the anime, from the TCG, and they basically give this Speed Duel format its own benefits and bonuses when using these types of skills. So it also can give us a hint as to what we're going to be getting in the very near future with the other skills that are coming in the Speed Duel starter decks. Additionally, before we get into that, we have news from MCM London Comic Con that's happening this weekend, the 26th through the 28th, I think it is. You're going to be able to go and get a signed playmat for £25 from the voice actors of Joey and Marek. It's got the Duel Links renders of Joey and Marek on it if you're going down there. The mat itself is okay, it's not the nicest looking thing in the world, it's just kind of, let's splash Duel Links renders onto the screen and that's about it. But still a cool opportunity. There's also going to be some Duel Links tournaments, 8-player tournaments happening down there with pricing. I couldn't get any information on that unfortunately, and I'm not going to be able to go down to Comic Con myself to actually check it out, but that stuff's going to be there if you're going to be there. So let's move on to this Speed Dueling Pegasus. So can I put an article up to date on their website? Welcome to our second article for Speed Duel starter decks, Destiny Masters and Duels of Tomorrow. The Master of the Millennium Eye was an extremely dangerous opponent for Yu-Gi in the original series. In addition to being able to seal away souls in cards, Pegasus could use his eye to see his opponent's hand and strategically pick apart the opponent's strategy. He would use his information to taunt them, break their resolve, and masterfully crush his opponents. Today we have another brand new skill to reveal for Pegasus. Firstly, a quick look at the card back. So it's pretty similar again to the My Valentine card back, just with a Duel Links render of My skill card. Flip this skill over when you activate this card, so again it's one of those ones you just keep face down, then you reveal it at the start of the duel, and the skill is called Millennium Eye, so it's very similar to Mind Scan from actual Duel Links. So at the start of the duel, look at your opponent's opening hand. You may choose to have that player shuffle their hand back into their deck and draw a new hand, or keep the hand basically. So it's like restart for your opponent, or you get to know their cards coming up. And obviously this is a combination of the Mind Scan skill that was in the anime and manga and in Duel Links, and restart. So that's a really nice way of combining 2 popular skills into one kind of card that gives you, the opponent, a lot of benefits. So either you're getting all this information on your opponent's hand and what their plays could be to influence your upcoming plays, or you're shuffling back in a godly hand they drew and making your opponent potentially draw into something a lot weaker. So that's really cool, and in of itself that makes more sense than actually bringing over the Mind Scan skill from the TCG, or from Duel Links, sorry, because that skill actually lets you see your opponent's face downs up to a certain turn of the duel. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's been errated since I last played it, but that would be a bit of a nightmare to keep track of, like which cards were actually activated, which ones weren't activated, things like that, and that could actually have an effect on the duel, and people could cheat, and you know, it's just a bit of a logistical nightmare for keeping track of things if you're new to the game. And Speed Duels obviously are designed to be this kind of entry point for older fans, or fans of Duel Links and fans of the anime that aren't going to be up to date and want to dive right into the upcoming, or to the new Link mechanic, to Synchro, Fusion, Xyz, all that kind of stuff off the bat, and Pendulum. So a really cool skill, and definitely one that I think it brings a lot of uniqueness to Duel Link, to the Speed Duel format and TCG. Hopefully the other character skill is going to be like this. So far we've had 1 character skill revealed for Pegasus, 1 for Mai, and those have been their character skills. Now the next skill released was actually a new card skill. So we didn't get one of these for Mai, but if like they're giving us 2 skills per character in these star decks, there's 3 characters per deck, so 6 skills per deck. We could be getting 1 character skill and 1 card skill per character. So as I should have mentioned on this last one, if both players actually use a skill at the same time, the turn player receives the effect first. The turn player has priority, but there's no chain involved, so you can't like chain your skill to their activation type thing. They just activate at the same time, but your skill has the priority if you're the turn player. So really nice ruling there. The next skill you use right at the start of the game. So at the start of the duel, place this card in your center spell and trap card zone face up. So this has to go in the center. So it is mimicking Duel Links exactly. If Duel Links automatically places things in the left, then in the middle, then right, then left. So this is mimicking Duel Links exactly, and that is the Toon World skill. So I believe the skill is actually similarly named, or might be the exact same name in Duel Links. but it's a continuous spell card. This card is treated as Toon World, so obviously you get this on your board and you get all of the effects that Toon World has for being able to summon out your Toon monsters to the field and being able to attack with them and make sure they don't blow themselves up. I think that's what Toons do. When Toon World's actually destroyed, they blow themselves up. But that's really interesting. There's a really big benefit to this one in comparison to the Duel Links version. In Duel Links, you simply just get Toon World on the field and that's about it. And if Toon World for some reason is bounced back to your hand, you then have to play Toon World back down on the field and pay the 1,000 life points to actually activate and resolve its effect. However, because it's a continuous spell in the Speed Duel format, if this gets bounced back to your hand, let's say for example that the Giant Trunade, the original, was actually in this game, in the Speed Duel format, if that happened, then you could place this again as a normal continuous spell card, and that would be fine. You wouldn't have to pay the 1,000 life points to activate Toon World, and you'd be kind of golden. So a nice little bonus for the Speed Duel format in that you don't have to pay more life points. With 4,000 on board, maybe Toons are going to be a really good deck in the star decks. Maybe they're going to give us some really cool things. Obviously, we know we're getting Toon Summon Skull as advertised from the box art of the actual of the sets, which I'll put on screen right now if you haven't seen already, because it's literally Duel Links artwork with some box art with some character renders. We get like Dark Magician with Yugi, Blue Eyes with Kaiba, Red Eyes with Joey, Amazonis, Swordsman with a Shizu, obviously Toon Summon Skull with Pegasus, and I believe that a Shizu actually has Gravekeeper's Priestess on her little card thing she has. So we know we're getting a couple of cool Gravekeeper's cards. I believe Priestess is the one that actually adds Necro Valley. With its effect, it actually counts as Necro Valley. Yeah, so we're probably not getting Necro Valley with these star decks, so they're going to stick very similarly to how they're doing things with Duel Links. However, this does actually bring up an idea as to if every character has a character skill and a card skill, and what that would mean for future characters. So I think Kaiba most likely will have Beat Down. I think that's a very easy skill to implement and one that would fit his character kind of perfectly, and then it's just his card skill that would be a bit different. With Yugi, you would have Destiny Draw. I think that's probably going to be the most likely kind of thing. Just when your life points are at 2,000 and below, choose the card you want to pick up from your deck and then shuffle it. That's the easiest way to do it. That's probably the easiest skill they could port over. That'd be really nice. But we already know Mai's skills. We know Mai's getting that Harp Lady, an Amazoness, Pot of Greed, Jar of Greed kind of card. So what if Mai's actual secondary skill, her card skill, was the unnerfed Amazoness Village skill? Which would mean that Amazoness, very early into Speed Duel's life, would be a very, very strong deck. They can't do Aroma strategy, because that would be ridiculous. I mean, they could do, but they've already given us a skill that's kind of a very character-based skill. So going by the card format, the card idea, then if Amazon's Village is going to be a skill in the Speed Duel format, that's going to be really cool. Getting it way before Duel Links is getting it, that'd be really nice. Joey, I don't know what Joey's could be. I guess Joey could do Last Gamble. I guess if they really wanted to, Joey could have Last Gamble. Which would make things really fun, because then you'd have to actually, supply a die with the deck. Well, you wouldn't really, but you'd have to you'd be introducing players to more mechanics, and I think that'd be a good idea. So let me know your thoughts on these new skills in the comment section down below for the Speed Duel format. Are you looking forward to these? Again, these come out in January. I think it's January 19th, so like 2 days before my birthday, I think it is. But really, really cool skills we're getting for Pegasus. What do you think the skill is going to be for Yugi, Kaiba, Joey, and Ashizu, as well as my secondary skill? Obviously, we're going to have these revealed over a couple of months, so every time they do bring out a new skill, I'll bring out a video talking about them, my thoughts on them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video, or Yu-Gi-Oh video in general. See you then. Hey, wait a sec, I just remembered I didn't do my intro in this video. That's got to be like a new record for me not, people have been asking forever to me to slow down, so if I just don't do the intro entirely, then we're good, right? I think that's what people want, maybe we just skip out the, hey, awesome guys, my name is Brother, back to the channel, back to my Duel Links video in general, then maybe people are going to be a bit happier, and yeah, I think I skipped it out. I planned to skip it out. If I didn't, this is going to be looking completely idiotic, and it's definitely just to fill up a time. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.